This is just the whole day has gone like this, but that's okay. I was just thinking you put on your lipstick and keep going.
That is the name of the game.
Welcome to another episode of Wisdom on the Front Porch. And boy, do we have a front porch full for you today. Clifford Starks is here, all the way from outer space. Well, that's what his
Yeah.
background shows for those that are seeing it on video. So, Clifford, introduce yourself just a little bit to our audience.
Hey, how you doing, amazing audience? My name is Clifford Starks. I am a person who has enjoyed the highs and the lows of life and looking to serve you in the best way possible with leadership specifically. Because when we can lead ourselves and we can lead others and we can lead effectively in our environment, life becomes quite a bit easier.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it's interesting. I've got a talk I'm giving on Friday on leadership, and that's what the whole summit is all about with Marianne Pageant. And so this is going to be really great. I want to learn from you because
Yeah.
we need to learn from each other and lift each other up. So, what is leadership to you?
Leadership is the ability to go first, to give your best, and to learn something in doing so.
That's really good. And is everybody a leader, or are there leaders and those that follow?
So I believe the best leaders are actually the best followers
Yes.
because they learn how to follow the right leader.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And that falls into um, my mentor has a mentor or my coach has a coach because we're
Mhm.
always learning, always growing. So how did you get into leadership? Is that something you've just always done?
Surprisingly, I was always doing it, but I didn't really start intentionally looking towards it until my dad mentioned that I was a leader at 37.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. What was going on then that your dad would say that to you?
I asked him what he valued about me, and that was one of the things that he did.
Wow. That's an interesting question to ask. I was in a mastermind 2 years ago now, and that was
Mhm.
one of the things we were told to do is ask your family what was valuable about you. And uh, and that's a really great question. I think it's something everybody should ask. Ask those closest to you. Um,
Amen.
and I don't know if it really has to be your family. It was just kind of how we were talking about things at that mastermind. But I think if you ask those that are closest to you, because sometimes we don't see ourselves. We see everything around us, we see what we do, but we don't see us the way other people see us. And so, yeah, that's a good question to ask. So, when your dad told you that you were a leader, how did that affect you?
Um, so I like researching what things are. So I wanted to research what is a leader exactly because I always thought of a leader being more so of a title than how you show up in the world.
Well, explain that.
Yeah, so I felt that people are appointed the leader instead of you actually showing characteristics of a leader.
Okay.
So to me, I never really saw myself as a leader. Um, it was interesting because I was leading all that time. Like I'm the one who's gonna try things,
Yeah.
especially when people are like, "Don't do that; it won't work." That's when I'm really gonna try it.
It's like, oh, yeah, let me show you how it works.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think some of the greatest responsibilities of a leader are?
So responsibility to yourself, responsibility for others, and responsibility for your environment.
Wow. Is there some kind of success formula for all of that to work together?
Yeah, so I talk about when you're aligned in your mind, when you're aligned in your heart, and you have your skill sets aligned, you end up winning this game we call life.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about somebody who wants to be a leader, but they've never really been a leader? Is there any chance for them to become one?
You know, it's interesting. So I don't want to answer it just yes or no. What I want to say is this. If you believe you are something, you've already started the actions of becoming that thing because everything starts with a thought. So if you think you can be it, then you can be it. So your thought, feeling, action, result.
Not feeling action result. Okay. Yeah, and there's plenty of books. There are mentors, there's coaches out there to help you along the way to get you to where you want to be. What if somebody says, "Oh, I could never be a leader. I'm one of those who are just a follower. I just do what everyone tells because I've tried to lead and nobody pays attention." Um, do you have advice for someone who's thinking like that? And I know that's stinking thinking, but we're gonna back it.
so so two answers depending on how I'm feeling, and depending on how they're feeling.
Okay.
So if I don't have much energy or I just don't care in that moment, I'm just gonna say yes.
Oh,
And if they are open to insight and I'm in an open space as well, I would ask the question, well, why do you believe that?
okay. That's that's a good question. And so they tell you why they believe that. Then what do you say?
Destroy the belief because there's always a pro and a con to every belief.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just taught, excuse me, in my morning group, we're talking about mindset. And it wasn't Jim Rohn and it wasn't Bob Proctor. Let's see if I wrote down who it was that had said it. And um, I want to say, yeah, I think it was Earl Nightingale who talked about attitude being the
Mm-hmm.
magic word, and that attitude is your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So if your thoughts, feelings, and actions are one of, I'm not going to do it, like Henry Ford said, whether you are or aren't, you're right either way. So
Yeah.
it's getting that mental attitude in there to, I am going to do it. This is who I am, and we're going to keep going. And that can be a real challenge at times, but you keep doing it and you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So, Clifford, let's say I meet you in the grocery store. I see you've been walking here. I meet you in the park. And I say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And it's like, "Do you run for a living?" And you say, "No, that's not mainly what I do." And I go, "Oh, what do you do? What do you tell people?"
I help people remove the barriers so that they can step into their truth. I'm a
Wow.
big time dreamer. Yeah.
I love that. Now, for someone who doesn't understand what it means to be a big time dreamer, what does that mean?
Yeah. So usually if someone asks me, what do I do? I'll give them a quick, I'm into leadership. And then I'll ask them, what do you do? Because people really care more about what they do more than they care about what other people do.
They do. And I don't know so much if it's a selfish thing as it's we live with ourselves constantly
Yeah.
and we always are there no matter what. And so we want to make sure that we're doing our best. So someone says, "Oh, I just work at McDonald's." What would you
Hmm.
say?
What got you working at McDonald's? And why'd you say, oh, I just work at? Seems like you don't really like it too much.
Oh, I don't mind it. I really love the people and I love that we can joke with each other, but we're very serious about our work and we take pride in our work. I know that
Nice.
might seem kind of funny coming from a fast food restaurant, but at our store, we really take pride in our work. And I do it because I need a paycheck. I've got to pay my bills.
Yeah, I hear that. And respect to the fact that you take pride in it. So, is that something that you're going to stick with for, is that a career choice? Is that something you're just doing right now? I'm actually curious.
I've never had a career before. I never finished school. I'm 35 years old and I just a mom and there's not much to me.
I have trouble believing there's not much to you if you're a mom.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even if you're not a mom, if I sit in the basement of my parents' home and play video games because I'm a dropout and everybody's told me how stupid I was, so figured this is the only job I could get.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I'm curious why you're around people who are calling you stupid.
Well, that was when I was younger. The people I'm around at work, they're all pretty encouraging.
Nice. All right. Well, good stuff. You already found a group of people who are encouraging you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I actually I'd love to actually know a little bit more about you if you'd be open to having a conversation around your dreams, your goals. Is that something you would be open to?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about them before, but I took a first step today coming out here and walking. I've gotten a little bit out of shape more than usual, and so I wanted to get in better shape. So I'm glad I took this walk today to meet you.
Nice. Well, big congratulations to you on taking that step and looking forward to connecting and learning more about you.
That's awesome. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Now, do you just work with people who are starting out? Do you work with CEOs, with C-suites, executives, all of that, or who really do you work with the most? I mean, who's your favorite to work with?
So I've worked with beginners. I've worked with people who have they're financially free. I've worked with people who want to become billionaires. And I guess the best way that I can answer it is the best person to work with is the person that I'm working with because I like being present with whoever I'm around. And if I'm working with someone I don't want to be around, I just won't work with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense because you're putting a lot of energy and time and so much of yourself into helping your client. And if they're not being reciprocal, if they're not responding, if they're not doing the work, then why are they there? What are they
Mhm.
after? And that's a good point to bring up because not every client is a good client. Not every coach is a good coach. You've got to find where you fit together and where you're working forward and you're going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So how long have you been doing this?
Since I was four.
Awesome. Oh, that's really great.
Yeah.
Um, so do you have events? Do you just do coaching online? Do you call? How do you go about your business?
Yeah, so I do online. I'm actually speaking with a mentor of mine, and we're going to start doing intensives with people as well. Um,
Nice.
but ultimately, yeah, a lot of online stuff.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
And what are some of the difficulties you have as an entrepreneur?
difficulties.
Oh, great.
The
He
big,
has to think if he has difficulties or not. I
yeah,
love.
the biggest difficulties I would say. So life's a game of unraveling this thing, our head,
Yeah.
and when we unravel, we start seeing the solutions. So
Okay.
ultimately, the only thing that keeps me from where I want to be is my way of thinking about the thing because
Yeah.
the solutions are always available. It's just me being the person to becoming the person that I need to become to get the solution that I'm looking to get.
Right. Right. Yeah. And you've been doing that for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah,
to
it's fun.
more. I love
Yeah,
that.
I don't. I really. You never really truly stop, and that's the beauty
Yeah,
of it. After you get a big goal, you just go after a bigger goal, and because it's fun, like it's fun to do. You
yeah.
don't win one race and go like, I won the race, so I'm done. I'm never gonna race again. Like,
No,
yeah, you are. Like, yeah,
yeah, it's like, wow, that was great. I want to do that again.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, that's really great. So, what's some advice you could give to people, to the audience that's listening right now, helping them in their entrepreneurial journey?
The words after I am are critical. So be very intentional with what you put behind your I am and have some sort of an I am statement. So my I ams, I am strong in mind flow and I flow with intention. I am strong in heart and do what I love. I am strong in skill and use my gifts to serve. I love money and money loves me. I am a champion of champions and I have a championship mind. And what I want to tell every one of you is every one of you have a championship mind. It's all about what we choose to condition ourselves to be.
Yes, absolutely. So, have you ever had a moment while you're doing this entrepreneur journey and you, I just don't imagine it ever happening, but have you ever doubted yourself? Maybe you're working with a client and the client's trying real hard, but they just can't get there, and you're wondering if you maybe aren't seeing what they really need.
I have doubted myself tremendously.
Really?
Yeah, not, I wouldn't say it was a client situation. I've been really good with that. But I had a ton of debt that I was dealing with. And I remember looking up at the sky like I'm done. It's over.
Yeah,
It's over. And what was interesting, looking up like that actually put things to perspective. Made me
really.
realize how vast this world is. It made me realize how big the world really is. Got to see the sun, got to see the sky, got to see a plane. I go, you know what? My problems really aren't as big as I'm making them right now.
Yeah.
And in that perspective shift, um, I did what anyone with a perspective shift would do. I took one step in front of the other, and the solutions started revealing themselves.
Wow. Wow. That just sounds so simple, but
Oh, it is.
is it?
Everything's super simple. Like if I go, all right, eat right,
I got that.
exercise,
Yeah.
listen to people, help them get what they want, and stay consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
simple.
It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. And we do. We like to complicate things a lot. Yeah. Keeping it simple. A lot of times we want to complicate everything and say, oh, it can't be that simple, but we need to do the simple things first. And then we're
Yep.
finding out that it really is simple. Just keep going. Don't stop. Do what you have to do. Yeah, today
Yep.
I had I'll probably do a little live in a little bit, but yeah, I had a big glitch in my giddy up, so to speak,
Hmm.
coming back from my country days, and and the power went out. My hotspot wasn't working. I mean, we had a storm that was really storming, and so I'm trying to get a hold of everybody, let everybody know, and it was just started to become overwhelming. Something else had happened, and it's just like, they say when it rains, it pours, and everything's got to come all at once. And how do you persevere through that? And you have to keep going. It can be tough. You want to go hide and be in the shelter, and it's okay to be sheltered from the storm, but don't let the storm take everything away from you. And if it does, then you just get up and keep on going.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lessons are around us all the time. It's just whether we see them and whether we even know what to look for. So
Yeah.
they talk about how buffaloes act around the storm versus a cow, and cows will actually run away from the storm. The
Yeah, they
storm's
do.
getting bigger and gathering up strength, and it gets worse.
Yeah.
Buffaloes actually run into the storm so that they can get past the storm.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I knew it
yeah.
about the cow.
The learning never
Yeah.
stops. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Makes it fun.
It does. It does. And there's so much in this world to learn. And I think you bring up a really good point there is, and I've said it before, you can have 100 people doing exactly the same thing, but they come at it with 100 different perspectives. So, and with almost 9 billion people in the world, yeah, there's enough to go around.
Yeah, yeah,
And you can learn from each other because you each are looking at it differently. Like Jose Escobar says, rising tide lifts all ships. And I know that didn't originate from him, but he's the one who still keeps it alive. And it's true. You're all helping each other. You're all there working at it together. And yeah, there's no competition. There is making sure each other gets to where they need to go because we're all coming at it from a different angle. That's why you can help some people, but yet somebody else can help other people. And if there's a client that doesn't work right with you or isn't willing to adjust, maybe there's another coach who is willing to help them see something in a way that you weren't. Not that I could imagine that would happen, but but it does. The truth is it
yeah.
does.
Well, I go into let me see if I can find this quote from um, Leonardo da Vinci. Can you still see me?
Yep, I can see you just fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't
know
know why.
you're on your phone looking for the quote. That's
Yeah,
great.
like why it did that.
And you're
Okay.
like me. I like to really keep the quote exactly the way he says, unless for some reason I can paraphrase it for the moment. But yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
it's learn how to see, realize that everything connects to everything else.
Oh, wow. I have never
Yeah,
heard that before. To learn
yeah,
how to see, realize how everything connects to everything else.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so I look at that and I say, when I say we're all in this together, it's true. We're all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if someone can help someone better than I could, great. That's awesome. Life's about helping one another and serving one another. And I just ask the best questions I can ask to see how I can serve them, even if that's pointing them in the right direction.
Yes. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's what I do with a lot of my clients who come to me for writing or, other skills that go on with writing. And it's like I find out first why they're doing it. What's
Mhm.
their reason behind it? Why? Um, and what they want the reader to get out of the book. And sometimes there's things they're after that it's like, boy, do I know the right person to get you to that's really going to help you soar.
Mhm.
Because it's about making sure they get to where they want to go. If I only concentrate on me and taking them where I want them to go, well, that might be okay because they've learned something a different way, but they aren't going to be satisfied and they still haven't gotten to where they want to go. And I don't want them to be discouraged and not keep going after it. It's too many things discourage us in this world. We need to go after the things that we really want, those dreams that we have, those visions of success that we have, and go for it. And don't let other people discourage us.
Yeah. And that's where the thought comes in. Just if you think it, you can be it. Because
Yeah,
if you couldn't even think it, then it never really existed.
Right, right. And how many times do we say, you know, a house is already built before the first brick is laid, and that is not my quote. You know, don't take that from me. But it was like kind of a weird thing to hear the first time, and then it's, well, yeah, because one, you've already counted how much it's going to cost you to build the house. You're going to know what supplies you need and how to go. If you just go buy a bunch of bricks from the store and some wood and put it in a pile and say, okay, I'm going to build a house. Well, you
Mhm.
don't even know what kind of house you're going to build. You know,
Yeah,
what are you doing? And sometimes I think we do that without realizing it. So, yeah, that's why we have coaches. That's why we have mentors to guide us along the way, to show us where we need to go. And when we run into a problem, they're there to help. They are there to help us through that problem. And
absolutely.
yeah, so that's really great. So, Clifford, how can people get a hold of you? Where do they go to say, hey, that's the man I want to work with?
Yeah, so you can find me either on Facebook under Clifford Starks or LinkedIn. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I'd give you my email, but I honestly just don't read it that much.
Yeah. Oh man, there gets to be so many emails. It's like, oh, my eyes hurt just from looking at it.
Yeah, yep, yep.
That's it. Yeah, Clifford Starks on Facebook or Clifford Starks on LinkedIn. That's great.
Yeah,
That's Any closing thoughts, Clifford?
yeah. I appreciate you having me on your show. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
I
And
appreciate you
for
being
any,
here.
yeah, thank you. And hopefully the audience got some amazing insights. If anybody did, please let me know. And if you didn't, give me a middle finger emoji if you'd like, and I'll do my best to do better next time.
Well, what I say is if you didn't like it, go to the website Wisdom on the Front Porch and say, hey, I didn't like this episode because of this. Let us know why so we can
Yeah,
change it. Or say, hey, I'd really like it if you could talk about this. Love your interaction, love hearing what you want because this is for you. This
yep.
podcast is for you. What Clifford and I do is for you. So let us know how we can serve you. Thank you so much, Clifford, for being here. I really appreciate your grace and just your presence being here today.
Yeah, thank you. And sending you love and light. And you have yourself an amazing day.
All
Appreciate it.
right. You too. Enjoy your
Awesome.
continued walk.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, LS Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and receive a second year absolutely free. This is a limited time offer available exclusively to those who mention the name of today's podcast. Join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.